All right. Hello, everyone. Today is Friday, April 13, 2018. This is the meeting of the Kubernetes CSI implementation group. First on the agenda, we have an item from Jan, release attacher version 0.201, image tagged as 020. Do you want to talk about this, Jan?
Oh, I hoped Luis would be here. Okay, so in the attacher, we released 2.0.2.0 12 weeks ago, and since then we accumulated few bug fixes that I would like to have in release somehow. And the question is how. Yeah, we should have the images as 020, so users don't need to do anything, they just pull new images from Docker, or they should have reference tag. I don't know what's the release process.
We don't have one yet. I think what we've been doing is using the same tag, so we can start becoming better about this once we go 1.0. For 0.20, 0.21, I think we can, it's whatever is most convenient might be okay. Do you have any opinion?
I would prefer the same tag, so users don't need to change anything. And also the attacher didn't add new features or whatever, it's just bug fix release, in my opinion.
Okay, I think I'm fine with that. Does anybody else have a opinion on this? Okay. I think Luis was supposed to cut these, whether he got around to doing it.
He released 0.2.0 a couple of weeks ago, and we need a bug fix release for that.
Okay.
Well, we don't need it. I would like to have one.
Okay.
Especially for the beta API. Using alpha is so annoying.
Okay, let's do that. Sounds good. Next up, Luis is not here to give an update on this, so we'll skip over that. Bugs that need attention. So Chris brought a few bugs to our attention. One was allow FS type parameter from storage class. So we have FS type in the CSI persistent volume source, but we don't allow it to be set during dynamic provisioning. And the proposal here is that we introduce a new parameter to the CSI external provisioner that will allow FS type to be set through the storage class. I believe Vlad agreed to work on this. I don't know if he's on the call. It doesn't look like he is.
Saad?
Yes.
I mean, I'm just trying to understand. I mean, if we set up FS type in the storage class, so basically it would apply all the volumes created based on that storage class, and it sounds a little bit like a limiting to me.
Yeah. So there's two ways of doing it. One is that you don't specify the FS type, and then the provisioner will create a new PV object with no FS type specified, which means to Kubernetes just use the default. But if the user wants to change it, they can manually go in and change the FS type inside the volume source. That's a manual operation today. If the user decides, you know, any new volume that's created using the storage class, I want to use this specific FS type, that's the use case that we want to add support for.
Yeah, and it's already implemented in all the storage plugins we have now in Kubernetes. So this just follows the precedent.
Yeah. I think
All
what's
right.
odd here, and I think what you're getting at, Sergey, is that this might be different from instance to instance. Ideally, this should be a value that's controlled on the PVC. On the PVC, I believe we have an option to say, I want to consume this as block or file. And if you specify if you specify file, you should also be able to say what the FS type is. But unfortunately, because of backwards compatibility reasons, that API only allows you to say whether you want block or file, and that's it. And then the system needs to figure out from somewhere else where the FS type comes from. Today,
But what if we? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
What if we use the same approach Jordan suggested for the secrets? So
Okay.
basically, to use a template and tie the PVC name with the file system type.
Where would the map exist?
In the storage class, like the same way, exactly the same way as it was kind of designed for the secrets.
So the nice thing with the secret is that the secret is another resource, and the template allows you to basically select or have a regex on the secret name, basically. The problem with the FS type is that you would need to provide a map to say if PV name is this, then use this. If PV name is this, then use this, which becomes unmanageable, I think.
I was thinking more using PVC and FS type because basically that's what the user creates, PVC.
So, but regardless of whether it's PV or PVC, the only way we could specify that kind of granularity in the storage class is if we have a map, right? We have to say, if you see this PVC name, then do this. Like it becomes a map, and that becomes unmanageable.
Okay, got it.
Unfortunately, I don't think templates work in this case. But I get the root of what you're trying to get at. This is pretty ugly. And unfortunately, it's an artifact of the way that the Kubernetes API was originally set up. It didn't take into account block versus file correctly. And we're still living with that, unfortunately. So we'll get an update on this from Vlad when he gets back. Second issue was the internal driver is not applying the FS group when PB is marked read-only. There was, this is on the Kubernetes side. When Kubernetes finishes the mount operation, the request here is to set the correct FS group ownership. And I believe Vlad said that he was going to send out a PR for it, and he did. And oh, that is larger than I thought it would be. So if anyone's interested in this code, please take a look and help review it. So we'll go ahead and mark that one orange. And then finally, CSI end-to-end test occasionally flakes. This also needs an update, a new external provisioner to be cut. So we'll hopefully Luis can get to this. We should probably have somebody else in the team who knows how to tag releases for containers other than Luis in case Luis is unavailable. Is there anybody that wants to learn from Luis and do it this time?
Yeah, I'm interested.
Okay. Let's say, can you teach Jan and have him do it this time so that we can spread the knowledge? So ping him on Slack and see if you can get the instructions for how to do it. And that way we have more than one person who knows how to do it. All right, thanks, Jan. Finally, miscellaneous updates. GCPD, CSI, block driver, device support needs volunteer. So as you know, underneath the Google Cloud Platform organization, there's a new GCPD CSI driver that David introduced. There is going to be a lot of work going on this quarter on that driver. And we're looking specifically for help on adding block device support to that driver. Is anybody on this team interested in helping out with that?
Do we have block support in CSI?
We don't, so there's going to be a dependency. We'll have to kind of work either in parallel or wait until that's done and then kick off this work.
It's not super urgent. We can probably wait till the block device CSI stuff is done. Just wondering if I could gauge interest first.
I'm curious because I signed up for AWS Cloud CSI driver.
Okay.
So I need to.
And I think Nick Wren is also interested in helping out, and he doesn't have any items assigned, so we could potentially as well. All right, cool. Thanks for that. Before we go to the wish list, let's take a look at the remaining items. Chakri is not available, so we'll have to roll these into, let's just go ahead and put them into the Q2 work and see if anybody's interested in working on them. So is anybody interested in picking up the flex volume adapter? Also, is anybody interested in picking up the iSCSI driver? Okay. What we'll do is I'll see if Nick is interested in picking up either of these. And we'll go ahead and remove it from here. And the 0.2 releases have been cut, and we need the 0.21 releases cut, which hopefully Luis and Jan can get to soon. Testing, any updates on the GCPD 10 test, David? David, are you there? Looks like you might be having mic issues or something. We can come back to you on Monday and get a status update on that. I think that's pretty much it. Does everybody have a good idea of what they're working on this quarter and any questions about anything?
Well, today I was on Amazon sort of kickoff for external cloud provider.
Okay.
And of course, they want to kick out the Amazon pretty quickly from the repository. I guess the same is for GCE.
Yep.
And CSI driver is kind of prerequisite, and also the ability to translate Amazon plugin or resident volume spec into CSI spec.
Yeah.
So we should probably have some design or something. How should we do actually?
So that's this item here, which David is working on. Sounds like you might be a good person to help review this as well, or maybe collaborate with David on it to some extent.
Yeah, I have a couple of ideas. However, we need CSI supported for inline volumes somehow.
Yeah. Yep. So, David, can you maybe sync up with Jan offline to talk through some of those ideas?
Yeah, can do.
Cool. All right, so feel free to collaborate offline on that. And one of the deliverables for this quarter is going to be a design for how to get the in-tree volume plugins, AWS GC PD out of tree. And in parallel, we're going to be working on adding support for the AWS driver, making the GCE driver better. So hopefully next quarter, we can start the work of starting to migrate this out of tree. I think that's a reasonable goal. All right, cool. Anything else you guys want to talk about? Luis also brought up that he thinks these meetings are too frequent. We have them 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Does anybody think we should decrease the frequency this quarter? Or do you feel they're the correct frequency, or we should have them more often maybe?
Well, you notice I join just occasionally. I miss a lot of them.
Yeah.
7 p.m. my time.
Timing is very rough. Yep. Agreed. And I think that's okay. I would prefer to leave it 3 times a week and you folks can join whenever works best for them. I think there tends to be enough like bugs coming up that need discussion. And just having, a stand-up kind of meeting tends to keep things focused considering how tight our deadlines are. So I'd prefer to keep it 3 days a week and then just say, if you can't make it, that's okay. Just skip it and try to make it maybe once a week.
What about just Wednesday and Friday? Because I feel like very little happens between Friday and Monday.
That is a very good point. I would be okay with that. Any objections to that?
No, sounds good.
Okay, cool. I will go ahead and send out that update then, and we will reconvene on next Wednesday then. All right, thank you everyone. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.